Let's first take care of our data source. I'm going to swing over to odfu.data and open up irestaurantdata.cs. This is currently where we have both our interface and our in-memory restaurant data implementation. We're going to change that in the next module. But I want a new method that will return a restaurant. We can call it add, we can call it create, but it's going to take a restaurant parameter, which is the new restaurant. And this is a method that I now need to implement inside of in-memory restaurant data. I'll place this right here before the update. So a public method that returns a restaurant named add, it takes a new restaurant. And for the most part, this implementation should be pretty simple. I can walk up to the list of restaurants that we have and say that I want to add this new restaurant. But there is one additional piece of bookkeeping that I should take care of. In the next module, we're going to hook up to an actual SQL Server database. And with a SQL Server database, I plan on having the ID of the restaurant generated by the database. Currently, in this in-memory database, we're just making up our own IDs. So to somewhat simulate what a real database would do, I'm going to generate an ID here. But again, this is only for test and development. You wouldn't want to use this logic in production. So this new restaurant.id should equal, and let's go out to the existing restaurants and find the maximum ID. So I will use the link max operator and say, given each restaurant R, I want to look at the ID property to find the max ID and then add 1. Relatively simple logic there, and then we can return this new restaurant that we have modified and given an ID. With that in place, I can now turn my attention back to the page model where we have some work to do inside of onPost. We need to figure out if we need to call update or add.